Now we are going to start with air pollution. So what is air pollution? As I told you that pollution is generally means that contamination of a substance, that means an air, water or soil with harmful substances is called as air pollution, the pollution. So when we talk about air pollution, that means contamination of air with undesirable substances. So that is called as air pollution. So this is what I wrote here. It is contamination of air with harmful and undesirable substances. So now we'll see that what kind of undesirable substances are there, or what are the pollutants or contaminants which are there in the air that is just affecting the quality of the air. So first we'll talk of the sources, that from where these pollutants are coming. So see, these pollutants are coming from volcanic eruptions, they are coming from automobile exhaust, they are coming when we are synthesizing certain thing like plastic or paper, we are synthesizing then due to anaerobic degradation of certain substances. So we will encounter many of the phenomenons which we will see here in case of these pollutants, that from where or you can say what is the source actually which is just producing this pollutant. So these are the basic you can say pollutants which are present in air, like it is carbon monoxide. You know that carbon monoxide, how it occurs? It occurs due to volcanic eruptions, it occurs due to incomplete combustion of fuels. So whenever there is an incomplete combustion of fuels or there is a volcanic eruption, we get carbon monoxide. And you know that this carbon monoxide affect, it has an adverse effect. That how it has an adverse effect? How it has an adverse effect? See, it is such a poisonous gas that if you inhale this gas, you know that it can combine with hemoglobin. We all know that there is the iron containing pigment in the blood, that is hemoglobin, which is very important because it helps in the transportation of gases. So what happened? If you inhale carbon monoxide, it reacts with the hemoglobin, it combines with the hemoglobin to form a defective complex, and that complex is something carbenohemoglobin, which reduce the oxygen carrying capacity of the hemoglobin, and the person suffers from respiratory disorders. So that means carbon monoxide is very poisonous, or it is a, you can say, a fatal gas which may cause death also. Second is carbon dioxide. It is emitted due to industrial waste, or you can say again from various processes what we are carrying out in the lab in order to make certain things. So see, CO2 is an important gas. It is present in environment in 0.03%. But if you inhale, if it's you can say concentration increase up to a certain limit, it causes a greenhouse effect. And what is that greenhouse effect, or what is global warming, we'll be discussing later. Or you already know till now, that means the increased the temperature of the surrounding, which can cause the ecological imbalance, melting of the glaciers and all. This is what is the global warming. So CO2 is a greenhouse gas. Next is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide comes when you burn coal, when you see it also occur when you carry out the process of formation of sulfuric acid. So there are many sources from which you get SO2. This SO2 actually affect the respiratory tract, it affect the nose, it affect the eyes, it affect the lungs, it can actually block the respiratory tract. And you know that like if somebody is suffering from asthma, it can also aggravate that asthma. It can also cause that condition that the person you can say comes into a, you can say, attack kind of situation. That means asthma or breathing problem can rise up to a much higher level. And in case of plants, if we talk about SO2, it inhibits the growth. It inhibits the growth. So sulfur dioxide is again a big pollutant. Next is nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide comes mainly from the automobile exhaust, and you know that this again causes respiratory disorder, and moreover it can also corrode the monuments, because SO2 and NO2 both are the main components of acid rain. They combine with water forming the HNO3 and H2SO4, so due to which the water do not remain neutral, it becomes an acidic, and this is what it affects the monuments and all, that it corrodes it. So this is what is in nitrogen oxide, SO2. Again, they you can say that they affect the respiratory tract, they inhibit the growth, and moreover they are consequence of the acid rain also. Next we have is H2S, hydrogen sulfide gas. Hydrogen sulfide gas is mainly formed due to anaerobic degradation of protein matter which is present in the stagnant water. So we get this H2S gas. Again, it can cause a respiratory disorder, it can cause a lungs related disorder. Next we have is chlorine. Chlorine gas is emitted like when you are, you can say when you are synthesizing plastic, you are synthesizing paper or something like that, then there is an emission of chlorine gas. And moreover, when you are taking into consideration the chlorinated compounds, that also release the chlorine gas. So this gas is again, and you can say harmful, again it causes respiratory disorders. Ozone. O3 is ozone. It is actually formed due to action of UV rays on the atmospheric oxygen, and you know that it is so harmful that it can also cause the skin blisters also. It is such a harmful gas. Next we have is dust. Dust is emitted like when you are performing certain tasks, so we get non-viable pollutants. So it is one of the non-viable which is released as a result of certain activity which is taking place, and as a result there is a dust which is emitted which comes into an environment. It again, like if you inhale this dust, it can cause a blockage, it can cause difficulty in breathing, so that means again it is a pollutant. Next we have is lead. Lead is actually emitted, you can say a source of emission of lead can be lead smelters. It can be burning of petrol, diesel in the automobiles, because there also lead is used in that. And this lead can actually affect the liver, it can affect the kidney, it can cause a gastrointestinal defect also. It can cause an abnormality in the pregnancy kind of situation or the infertility. It can also cause the abnormality in the infertility also. So that means again it is a main pollutant. Next we have is zinc. Zinc is mainly emitted when we are carrying out the galvanization process. It leads to the release of zinc. Again it causes you can say respiratory kind of disorders. Next we have is mercury. Mercury is emitted when we are synthesizing certain substances. It leads to the emission of mercury, and you know that mercury can also have it can also affect many of our organs, and it is again the harmful pollutant. And if you talk about the zinc, it also causes the skin related disease also. It causes an irritation in the skin also, right? And radioactive waste, we know that there are certain elements which are radioactive. That means in them their mass is getting continuously you can say deteriorated in the form of harmful rays, and radioactive rays or gases are something very harmful because they are able to penetrate deep into our skin and even can affect our genes, causing the genetic defects also. And moreover, they can cause a different kind of cancers, they can cause leukemia. So these are, you can say, mainly the pollutants which are polluting the air, and you have seen that what kind of adverse effect they can actually cause on us, right? So this is what is the sources of the air pollution. Now we'll talk about that how we can control them, right? So how, like if we talk about that, what is the control over them? So we can carry out certain processes, like we can do a certain kind of combustion. Like if you do a catalytic combustion or you do a flame combustion, then what happens, these gases get or you can say the pollutant get converted into the vapor, and the vapors in the vapor phase they are less harmful. So when we are carrying out the combustion, or when we just have the pollutants, we can just burn them, we can just carry out the flame combustion or the catalytic combustion, and it will release, you can say convert those pollutants into a gaseous form, and they will be less harmful to us. Second, we can do absorption kind of method. What is there? These gases are passed through a scrubbers or a liquid kind of you can say a system where the liquid or the scrubbers, they can actually absorb the gases. So that means the air can be free from those harmful gases. Third, we can do adsorption. That was absorption, this is adsorption. Adsorption, like we can use the charcoal, animal charcoal. We know that animal charcoal is capable of absorbing the gases on its surface. So we can put that, and that this thing animal charcoal can absorb gases on its surface, and by physio adsorption or a chemio adsorption, that means bond formation or bond not formation. Here our concern is not that whether the bond is formed or not. Our concern is that the gases should be removed. So they can be removed by placing the animal charcoal, which can absorb those harmful gases. So that adsorption can be there. Moreover, what we can do, we have a gravity settling methods also. What we do, we have a gravity settlers in which we pass air, and in those the speed of air is slightly lowered. So what happens, the dust particles or whatever the suspended particles are there in the air, they just get settled down and air gets free from those suspended particles. So that means we can use many of the techniques. We can use the electrostatic precipitators also. They also help in removing the pollutants. So there are many methods which we can actually use use in order to control the air pollution, which is very must, because air is very important, as we all know that we need air to respire, and without respiration we cannot survive, right? So that means it need to be this thing done, and moreover these are the methods to control this thing, the air pollution. Otherwise you should also take care of certain steps. You should also take certain preventive measures so that there should not be you can say such pollutants in air, like the less use of automobiles, use an unleaded petrol so that lead is not emitted. As you know that lead can cause liver damage, can cause a kidney damage, can cause a gastrointestinal damage, can cause an infertility, it can cause abnormality in pregnancy also. So that means we should make use of unleaded petrol. And moreover, we can also make use of certain kind of fuels which do not emit any harmful gas, which do not emit SO2, NO2, which are again a major cause of this thing, acid rain. So we have like, and whenever you are doing certain kind of experiments, do it this thing properly insulated, so that there is no emission of radioactive rays, so that you can prevent yourself and you can prevent your surroundings also from the cancers and all. As you know that they can even penetrate deep into the skin, into the cell, and can cause the genetic defect also. So we can just be secure from these pollutants if we will take a certain preventive measures. That means just this thing, use, and moreover use certain kind of devices which do not affect the ozone. So you just need to take certain preventive measures, and the day is not far that we can actually make control of the air pollution, because air is an important natural resource. So this is what is an air pollution. Now we are going to start with the water pollution.